Good afternoon or good evening and namaste, everybody. So I want to welcome you guys back. So we were supposed to have, or we are going to have a guest, a yoniologist on, I believe, next week or this coming week. Um, so that's going to be amazing. Her name is Salt, and she's going to come on to talk to us about health for our most promiscuous part of the body. Anyway, she's going to be available to us, and she, with great joy, I'm happy to have her on next week. So today we're going to take a break from just a general topic at hand, or just a main topic at hand, and we're going to discuss some general things I wanted to go over. So I know that I've said in the past few podcasts or past few shows that mudra is something that I wanted to start putting to use. And the first time that I actually saw this, and let me just explain what mudra is. Mudra is a hand gesture or position used in meditation, asana, and spiritual rituals to add depth to yoga or meditation practices. Honestly, the same way we use words with our mouths and our hands, they manifest things. Okay. And that's why it's very important that your brain and hands work together. You start thinking about, manifesting physical attributes, and then tapping into your pineal gland and all of those things, and they eventually do tie in, or they all absolutely tie in. So I wanted to give just a general, this is a Google retrospective explanation of what mudra is. It says these symbolic gestures can encourage different states of mind that facilitate energy flow in the entire body and promote relaxation, inner peace, and concentration. Different hand gestures can appear from any, and is used heavily in yoga and meditation. But is the body, you can do like tree poses, lotus poses, same mudra. Things that help like with your health, that help with wealth, a general cleansing. Going back to when I first saw this, and it first caught my eye was when I saw a video put up by a gentleman, a conscious gentleman, and I immediately thought of gangs. I immediately thought of gangs and how when they see each other, they have the different hand gestures to greet each other. But also in our communities, we oftentimes, not in a gang, obviously have different ways that we dap each other up. You know what I mean? Even down to a simple high five and what all it means. Everyone knows exactly what that means. Um, Nobody's high fiving at a funeral. Okay. You're so you understand that there are certain times in which you would even use that simple gesture. I would consider that a mudra. So anytime that you're using hand gestures to generate energy or to manifest things within yourself or to concentrate or sleep. And so there are many mudras for different things. I wanted to go through this because a lot of people focus on meditation and things like that. And you literally have the power at the tips of your fingers to manifest different things in your reality. And I don't think people are aware of that. Something as simple as a hand gesture, something simple as a F you, that says something that drives a different type of energy when someone gives you their finger. So if that can be as effective as, if a high five or middle finger can be as effective, or a thumbs up can be as encouraging, why would I not take the very phalanges that was given to me and utilize them to manifest certain energies in my own life? So I've been practicing mudra, and I've actually found, and I don't say practicing, I've been participating a little, like when I go to sleep or if I'm in the car. So so they should be combined with meditation and concentration for manifestation, because you should be doing them as all things with absolute purpose, okay, and absolute intent. That's a big driving force, intent. I was telling I was talking to my business manager earlier, and we were discussing um people's intent. Like a lot of times people ask for things that they want, but they don't have either the proper or any intention on what to do with it once they have it. And so with this particular example, I was saying, like a lot of people that become famous, or that have wealth, they've done enough to manifest it, but if what's the intention? So if the universe gives you wealth or gives you the things that you're asking for, what are you going to then do with them? And so a lot of times we look at people that have clout, we'll put it that way, in just in the sense that they may have ascertained the wealth status, but then don't know what to do with their money. Like people who win the lottery, people who win the lottery, the girl who won the lottery in North Carolina, all those millions. She played the ticket, she got it, and then there was no intent. No intent for her to have. When she got the money, it's like, I want to be rich. Okay, but then what are you going to do with it? And then when they interviewed her for Ayanna Van Zandt's Fix My Life, she was all over the place. RVs. Now, the TV puts it out there like, entertainment is garbage, but the way that it was portrayed, they have the RVs outside with no keys. It just looked a mess. She bought like a plantation and everything. And then she's bailing, got to jail. And the state knew, so they kept upping his bail and arrested him anyway. If you're watching this, honey, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry that happened to you. But let's be honest. Once you have the thing that you're asking the universe for, what you're asking Mother Universe for, what is your intent? You should never do anything without purpose. You should never make a decision without, as I said before, the consequence or repercussions. But understand, if that's the case, you need to stand on your intent. And doing things with purpose. So I'm always using my hands and talking. And so I would love to utilize them to manifest and be purposeful too. So I slap it. Just kidding. Um so there are different hand manifestations, and I don't think that many people know it. And in our community, it's just I think something that needs to be made aware of. And we kind of look back at one of the additional things that was taken and used for part of communities and taken away from others, or used as and deflected as negative attributes. You would never see a cop see two guys on a corner dap it up and think, oh, they're practicing Mudra. And he's gonna be like, they're affiliated. You know what I mean? So you have to think about the perspective and in which these things come from, or the perspective in which these things are manipulated. And taking back the power of things. Is super, super important, and we're learning, sifting through. There's actually a young man, actually, a young, very conscious young man, and he is amazing. I've seen his videos and his work on some of the other feed that's it's replicated, but he's on TikTok big. But what I've seen from him is he puts me in the mind of a Bedell, whereas he just seems to stream this information so plainly, in ways to just be effective with what you have at your hands. And I don't mean just Mudra, I mean a plethora of things: how to protect yourself from blood magic, how to protect your house if you think you're going to get robbed. And when I listen to him and listen to his videos, and I it's that thing that kind of goes, that makes so much sense to me. Which is part of this show, is making a lot of things that we've forgotten about, or don't know about, or aware and not sure of how to utilize the tools properly, which many of the tools that we have at our disposal have either been shifted as negative or have absolutely been taken from us and appropriated somewhere else. Um, but he has this amazing ability to make it so plain. So I had always been appreciative of watching his work, and then I saw the one on Mudra, and I was like, holy crap. So I just was super excited to see that. So I did want to shout out to him, especially being that this is the topic I'm talking about. There's a particular video, but I would love for you guys to just indulge in the knowledge that he is given. And I see so many other elders that are seeing him and see his work, and they know it's good. And so that's very nice, and so thank you, sir, for your hard work. I mean, the dedication that you have to dropping knowledge, as for lack of better phrases, is insane. And I appreciate you for making it very, very simple. Okay. um that even I can follow it. Just I'm like, okay. So thank you very much for your work, brother. Thank you. So I always consistently believe the universal. We need to say it. She'll make no mistakes. That part. That part. Everything's always say, strategic people, strategic places, you know, strategic purpose. Always. Nothing is ever placed by mistake. So I went to a drag show this weekend, and there was a woman in the parking lot I almost hit. Let me tell you how this happened. So I get all the way to Portsmouth from Hampton, which is okay. I get 30 minutes away from where I'm going, right? get there, was gonna gas up beforehand, didn't do it because I was like, I'll be fine. I'll wait till after because I was supposed to have the interview later. So I rescheduled. So what happened was I get into this parking lot and there's this woman and I almost hit her. I mean, like, I just like slam on brakes, like I wasn't really paying attention. And I stopped, sorry, sis, I'm so sorry. And she's like, oh, it's okay. I said, okay. I get parked. I go grab my things, all my money, my ID, my debit card, everything's in the back of the house. And I'm all low on gas. I'm on the red. So now I have to, because I'm determined to make this event because I was invited. So I go back to 30 minutes out. Well, it's like 20 minutes, 20 minutes back out and come back to the other, go back to the venue. We go in, and the show started. Um, and they have an intermission or before they have an intermission, they go around and they're like, oh, whose birthday is it? My birthday is coming up Thursday. Like, oh, blah, blah, we'll get you a drink. Great, great. And then so they're going around and you said that they get to this woman. I'll just say the lady in green to get to the lady in green. The lady I almost hit. So they get to the lady in green and she's like, oh, her birthday's coming up. And then she's a meditation um artist. And then they interviewed the vendor whose birthday was coming up, and she also worked in holistic healing and meditation and natural products and things for the body. So I'm like, okay, I didn't see that coming. All right, one lady wasn't even a vendor; she's just remember Lady in Green, the one I almost hit. She's a guest, just there like me. So at the intermission, I get up and I go talk to these ladies. And as I am having a discussion with them, and so we start chatting it up, and it was like talking to like your sister or your best friend. It was really interesting. The lady in green who I almost hit, as a matter of fact, when I talked to her, it was almost like this instant connection. And we hugged, and she told me she loved me, and I said, I love you too, sis. And I was like, I almost hit you in the parking lot. She's like, yeah. And I was like, she's like, I just waved. I was like, yeah. And it just was like this embracing thing. So I absolutely am ecstatic to absolutely at some point in time talk to them as well because I do want to get back to the I don't want I of course am not going to just have one video on women coming together to say we need to come together and then not participate in coming together with women, let alone in this environment and in this heightened state of being, to put it that way. So I'm going to have them on to focus on that particular topic as we go through. But I was very excited to have had that happen and to have that meeting. And I always find, and I've said before, when there's a point of determination, there is always a push. There's always something to that last hurdle to kind of knock you off your block, And I wasn't having it. I wasn't having it. I wasn't having it. I was like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna make it. And then once I was there and in the midst, it was more than just about me having a good time. But it definitely was a great opportunity for me to be put in place with purpose. Okay. So I just want to absolutely say to you guys, I would love I feel like if I can get enough of you to practice mudra, we're gonna see some things manifest and change. And I actually am getting with one of my counterparts to actually start putting those manifestations together. Linking up and in which to practice them and hone the skill and to encourage one another. So it's a great time to do that if that's something. If you look it up and you're like, hey, that's beast, because it is beast. Um, this would be a good time to grab your sister, girlfriend, mama, and practice some mudra. You know what I mean? So what else are you doing? No, but I really feel like I felt that it was enough for me to bring it to people's attention just solely because I don't think that people understand. They don't know this. They don't know what's out there. I didn't know it was out there. I didn't know. When you talk about yoga and meditation, I'm like the best I got is the Om, right? That's it. Which this is another manifestation and mudra, by the way, which I've been doing for years, is not what you think, man. Okay. For your health, I think this is the one for your health. Yeah. It's just amazing. I don't want to put my nails up too long because they are busted. And to be honest with you, when after I saw it, I immediately went to YouTube and searched it, and everything was right there. Everything was right there. There's even tutorials on how to properly put your hands together, what you specifying what you should be doing, how long you should be doing it for, certain mantras to meditate with when you're manifesting this energy, and like what could it possibly hurt? So 12 mudras to get you started. So the Gaya mudra is simply by touching the tip of the index finger and thumb together, and you extend the other three fingers. This particular mudra is designed to increase concentration, memory, creativity, and reduce negativity. My God. And chances are 900% of you have done this already and don't even damn know why. And I'm just realizing it. How many times have you taken your finger, your index finger and your thumb and held together and said, Lord, if she say one more thing, okay? How about that? You, because I've only ever seen somebody do it when they're mad, or I've ever only done it when I'm mad. If you say one more fucking word, okay? So you do that mudra and then say that phrase and see, I have done this before, and that's insane. Okay. The next one is the Prithvi mudra. So you touch the tip of the ring finger and thumb together and you extend the other fingers. So it's just like, the first one, the Gyan mudra, but you're using your ring finger instead of your index finger. The purpose of this particular mudra, which is number 2 on the list, is it strengthens the tissues of the body, such as muscles, bones, tendons, and nails. The third one, VARUN mudra, it's you touch the tip of the little finger and the thumb together and extend the other 3 fingers. And this amplifies the ability to communicate effectively and promotes circulation of fluids in the body. Number 4, which is the most, I've heard this one a lot. Probably just the word actually used a lot in Hindu. In Indonesian religions, prana mudra. You touch the tip of the thumb with the tips of the ring and little finger, and you extend the other 2 fingers. And this energizes the body. It alleviates tiredness and enhances eyesight. The 5th on the list is the Apan mudra. Now, remember, these are just 12 basic ones to get you started. Okay. You can research on your own or request information, or go to that gentleman's page and watch him, and also seek your own information. All right, so number 5 on this list in particular is the Apan mudra. It's either a pawn or a pan. I'm pretty sure it's a pawn. All right, and so this is you touch the tip of the thumb with the tips of the middle and ring finger and extend the other 2 fingers. This balances the body, stokes the metabolism, and helps stimulate digestion. It just puts me in the mind of, the power, the God power within you. Like, we've literally been given all of the outs, y'all, okay? I'm sorry, we have all of the outs and they've been hidden from us and appropriated and repurposed otherwise, but we gonna let that lie. The VAYU mudra is to touch the tips of the index finger on the base of the thumb, okay? And apply a light pressure with the thumb and extend the other 3 fingers. And this balances air in the body, relieving both fluctuation and joint pain. Number 7 is the Shunya mudra. You touch the tip of the middle finger on the base of the thumb and apply a light pressure with the thumb and extend the other 3 fingers. So as you'll see, it's just like a lot like the Vayu mudra. And if you notice that these mudras go 1, 2, 3, I'm just noticing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you look at the first 3, they're thumb, index, thumb, ring, thumb, pinky. Yeah. And if you look at the 6 through 8, you have the Vaya mudras, and you're essentially just moving the finger. Same instruction, just moving the finger. It's very interesting. Number 7, speaking of which, the Shunya mudra. So this is you touch the tip of the middle finger on the base of the thumb and apply light pressure with the thumb, extend the other 3 fingers. This improves hearing and can be restorative for throat and thyroid conditions. It's insane. Okay. The Surya Mudra is you touch the tip of the ring finger on the base of the thumb and apply light pressure with the thumb, extend the other 3 fingers. That raises metabolism, heats the body, and aids digestion. Okay. So the Adi Mudra is you fold the fingers into a fist over the thumb with the thumb touching the side of the little finger. This is number 9 on that list. And it expands lung capacity, stimulates blood flow, and improves the function of vital organs. I'm going to do the other 3, but let me just stop here and say something, y'all. the fuck and wow. And thank you. Going over this, and as I've done before, and it occurred to me, the body chart, the foot chart, you think about, like, most people have seen the foot chart where it shows you all of the pinpoints on the foot where things are affected in the body, right? We've accepted that. We've accepted that as science. Really? This is the same damn thing, y'all. It's the same thing. So powerful right at the tips of your fingers, literally, to heal and aid yourself. I'm not saying that this is the end all be all without medical reasoning, but what I am saying is, damn it, you can start in your house, in your bed, to just have a better life by simply touching your own body and taking your hands and make them work. Between you meditating and tapping in and then manifesting it with your hands, it is insane. And then when you add the mantra to it, my God. So we're gonna keep moving forward. It's just amazing. It's amazing. Number 10, the Anjali Mudra. You press the palms firmly together with the fingers facing upwards. Alleviates stress and anxiety, boosts focus, and lends a hand in achieving a meditative state. It's much like our Namaste pose. Okay. Or gesture, should I say. All right, the Hakini Mudra. You touch the tips of the fingers with those of the opposite hand. So at this point, you're using both hands as we did with number 10, with the Anjali. Mirroring each other, keep the palms separated from one another. And this boosts memory, brain power, and concentration. This is the motion. And I understand we have the clips up, and I just want to show y'all how simple this shit is. At a business table, how many times have you seen someone sit like this? How many times? How many times have you listened to a bullshit ass argument and mad and sat like this? Okay, I'm gonna let you finish. I've seen it a lot in business. I've seen it a lot at business tables. I just thought they was putting their hands together. Let me repeat what it says, if we can put it back up. Boost memory, brain power, and concentration. When you're working at any job that details you, especially sitting behind a desk pushing papers, those are things you need. Those are things you need to get those things accomplished, right? Moving on to number 12 on this list, my lord. And remember, these are just to get you guys started, just to kind of show you what we're talking about out of these 12, just how much power you have in your hands. My God. So listen, the Shambhala Mudra is just the last on this particular list, but there are more. Okay. Remember, you're gonna have to do everything can't just be handed to you. And I don't mean that just for this. I mean that in life. I think there's a lot of people that are anticipating. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say it that way. I think that there are a lot of misconceptions, that thinking that just because you know the information, that makes you okay. But if you're not doing anything with it, and if you're not seeking out the knowledge for yourself, same way as we get the manipulation that's been given to us by the church, we get it. And I'm not speaking from a place of church or nothing like that. It's just the easiest comparison. Because I said I was not gonna talk about church today. Um, but realistically, this is shocking at how simple this can be for you to change your entire life. Not gonna talk about church right now. All right, Shambhala Mudra. Create a fist with one hand and a flat palm with the other. Press the fist into the palm of the straight hand. Lifts the mood, promotes vitality and positive thinking. That looks a lot like, what people do when they're getting ready to fight, but that's insane. That's insane that there are, just even in those 12s, so many abilities in which you have at your literal fingertips to manifest a different reality internally and externally in your life. I just don't see any reason why not to. Um, a lot of time, I remember because I didn't give. I remember being given a word for someone, and I remember saying to them, I know this is gonna make you feel silly, and that's okay. Just don't stop. Don't stop. Because like, who do you feel silly for? We've all done really weird, awkward things, picked our noses, dug our butts, like when we have a wedgie. Cough without covering our mouths, which I know is disgusting. If you're in a room by yourself in your own house or in your car and you have hazardly cough, you may not instinctively cover your mouth, but you wouldn't do that in front of someone else. The thing about it is that anything that you do different is going to feel different. We classify it as silly, awkward. It's just different. It's just something you're doing different. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody always wants to seek out change. They change their hair, they change the way they dress, they change things about themselves all the time. People sometimes change the way they act, how they talk when they get around certain people. It's weird as fuck to watch, actually, but they do it without a bat of an eye. And what is there wrong with you producing or introducing change into your life? The sheer definition of idiocracy is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting the same way, expecting a different result. So give something else a try, because obviously what we may have been doing may not be working. If it is for you, that's great. But there's nothing wrong with aiding yourself along all by yourself instead of waiting for somebody else to do it for you, or waiting for someone else to, you know, push you. We need the push. We do need the batteries in our back a lot of the time. But there are some things that you can do to help yourself. And don't let self-doubt or anybody else's doubt tear you from that. Because I'm telling you, everything that's a lot more things that are done nowadays are done with purpose. Everything, 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 whether it's good or bad. So like, why not positively be purposeful for yourself and your life, and teach it to your children? I I had a very how should I say it? I had some disconcertion about how, I hope that's a word. I think it is. About when to introduce certain aspects to my children, about what my experiences were. And I think that we so have been at a point where we're like, we get the point of letting someone walk their path. We're doing that. But as your children in your own household, I am seeing a lot more conscious people pass it on, which rightfully so. If you get it young, you're supposed to. Basically, what I'm saying is, just because things feel awkward and new or awkward to you, but even if you know that it's effective, don't not pass this information to your children who are so much more receptive than you. I don't know who need to hear that, but don't keep it to yourself. You need to tell them now. My daughter brought home, I said I won't say nothing, but my daughter brought home a map. Um a map that had, it was colored in, and it had the slave states, the Union states, and like it was sectioned off. I guess they were talking about the revolution, the war, the Revolutionary War. They were talking about the war. So she brings this paper to me, and she's me going through her schoolwork, and I'm like, oh, that's so cute, okay. And then she pulls this out, and I'm looking at it, and they had them like color all the slave states in black. I don't know if it was intentional, or she showed me this picture, and when I got to this piece of work, it was the last piece of work in a pile of stuff, and it was just like assignments she had done. So I looked at it and instantly, like, and I did that one got me. I don't know why. So it says slave states, and from Texas on up to Virginia were colored in black, and all the states in between and over. And at that point in time at the dining room table, I explained to her how we were never slaves. We were not slaves from Africa. We were not. That we were indigenous to this land. Then I started to tell her how when the Spaniards came up, 1500s, long before Christopher Columbus ever mistakenly found this with his drunk ass, and I just started giving her the business. Then I pulled up Instagram, and some of the people I've been following in some of the conscious TikToks by the younger generation, and I just was like, I couldn't hold it any longer. And she looked at me and she walked away and she was her cousin and she goes, "You know what? We're not from Africa." She says, and her cousin says the following: "We were just talking about that, me and Deshaun 2 days ago. The other day, we were just saying, hey, wait a minute." And I said, okay, mission accomplished. And I got my little drink and walked outside. But that was the first time, not the first time, but it was the first time in that much depth that I e- expressed something to them about some of the things I'm learning, because I'm still very new in learning certain things. Um, Others have come back around and just gifts are being used differently. But it was a very prideful moment. Not, I was very proud that she didn't shun away from what I was telling her, that she didn't, "No, mommy, but I was told." I was so glad that she immediately went and passed that information to the next one. And then that person said, "Oh yeah, we was definitely talking about that," which created confirmation for her that mommy wasn't wrong. And not that I expected her to say that mommy was wrong, but what I did anticipate was that based on the information she's fed, that it was different and that it would abrase the confirmation of what she's only been taught. And that was powerful to me. So be sure that the information you have, no matter how indifferent the information feels, when you know it's right, it's right. When I say indifferent, indifferent to what you've been taught, indifferent to what you already think you know. It's like finding out Santa Claus isn't real. I've said this before: the Easter Bunny is not real, the Tooth Fairy is not real. You believe it for like 7 years. And then one day you just find out it's not, and you're like, oh shit. Some kids cry, some kids are like, really? But at the end of the day, the turnout. They still want to do the Easter egg hunt. They still want to do the Christmas gifts and all of the things, but at the same time, they don't have the same belief system, and they're fucking fine with that. We as adults are so stuck in our shit. We're so stuck in trusting that things don't change, even though we know they do. We want them to remain the same. We want to believe that we don't have to work hard to learn who we are. It doesn't work like that. There are a lot more of us, which is fan fucking tastic. That gives us the opportunity to have that battery in our back to know we're moving in the right direction. But the people immediately around you in the communities you're in a lot of times don't see it that way. And the unfortunate part is a lot of times the people that are closest to you question you the most. But you can meet someone in the street and have a conscious conversation and both share where you got your chakras from last week. But the people in your house, not so okay. But don't be afraid to tell your children early. The yoniologist that's coming on, Salt. I listened to her when I sat in her chair about how she raises her children. And I was like, I am fucking up. So her children are very aware of who they are and their ancestors and what it means to manifest and work hard and push through um people and this in society. They know. And I was like, I gotta get on my shit. So it's never too early. It's never too early to make a new beginning. It is not too early to explain to them, because the longer you wait, the longer you are setting them up for failure. We can have these conscious decision like conversations as adults, and I think that's why it's so impressive to me to see a younger generation such as the gentleman that we talked about earlier have a platform in which they are speaking the truth and speaking it with fervency. It is, I wish I had known earlier. Um, but at the same time, I wouldn't change things as they are. But everything is purpose for a reason, you know? But the ability to give they're already the alpha generation. I know 98,000% of y'all saw the TikTok with the day old, I'm sorry, the minute old baby looking around like, where's my ship at, sis? Because this is where we gonna be at. So this is what we about to fuck up. So this kid was like, where's my suit and tie? His parents, I mean, but this alpha generation and every person and every parent I talk to with a child under the age of 10 is like, these kids are different, especially those that are between the age of 5 and 7 now. These, I mean, and I'm sorry, 7 and younger. I mean, out the womb, obviously younger. They are so different. They're ready. They're ready and they're here with purpose. They're here with purpose. Anytime my 5-year-old can say to me, but mommy, who's going to fill your bucket? Honey, I broke down in all kinds of therapy tears on the bed with her. Why would you say that to me? Oh my God, why would you hit so hard, sis? I know my worth, 5-year-old. So so they're ready. They're ready. And we see things where our children are telling us things. I was another TikTok I watched where a young lady was talking about her son. She's like, listen to this. And he's talking about the Emerald City and he's talking about all of the things that have been talked about by elders for a minute. Things to come, things we've not seen, the war that's kind he talked about a lot. He was like 4. My God. So they're beyond ready. They're waiting for you to get ready. I had somebody tell me yesterday, super random comment. Um, or I heard it somewhere, or but when I heard it, it perked my ears, and I heard someone say, "These children are waiting for us to get ready," and it's the truth, y'all. They're waiting for us to get ready because they know what's coming. They know how they're gonna have to be slightly different. They're genetically just different. Okay, they're engineered just different. You know, and there's so many instances I could talk about with I call her my indigo child, but I promise you so many instances that I could talk about where she's been so aware and so she's been a guide. And the very interesting part is to hear other people talk about their children in the exact same way. Um phew, it's encouraging, it's powerful, and it makes you go, okay, so I'm not crazy. I didn't just imagine that. And I know what my child said, and somebody will believe me when I repeat the story because their kid did the same thing last week. But it should put you in a place of comfort and understanding that um that the younger generations are ready for what some of us are coming up on, just the same as those that were progressing this in the 90s and in the 70s. When I always think of those times as major times where there was the attempt to try to enlighten. You think about the things that happened, the coalitions that were put together, your 5 percenters, your 1 percenters, your Black Panthers, you know, and in the 90s, in the 80s, your African Bambatas and hip hop, the culture itself, and then going right into the 90s. It wasn't a phase going one into the other because there were so many major distractions. The crack epidemic was one of them in the Black neighborhood. The Gulf War, another one. That was some bullshit, but okay. These were things that were happening when we were coming together as an enlightened people. You think about in the 90s when Queen Latifah came out, everybody was wearing the African, gear. Everybody had a Nefertiti necklace. Who the fuck didn't have a Nefertiti necklace in 1992? Everybody. Everybody was wearing the dashikis, same thing in the 70s. So I look at these times as pinnacle moments where there was a almost like, starting a long more. There was like a revving of things. You even think about the Harlem Renaissance and you look how that shit ended up going down. Granted, the incitement of it was behind. I was watching stuff about Freddy's today. It was, I mean, before Freddy's came way afterwards, but we're not gonna talk about that. But beforehand, the neighborhood, because it would have been gentrified even then had certain laws been passed the way it is now. That's always been the fucking mission. So, I don't mean the Harlem Renaissance, that was for, but still, that was a point in time in which, okay, but you look at the time in which, people were coming up and just they were thinking different. They were no longer, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, I'm gonna work a job, ma'am. They were like, fuck this shit, black fists and afros and pics, bitch, because we tired. And even though I think then not that it would have been prematurely done, but I do think that this is a different type of opportunity. And I think that there are certain realizations that had to be uncovered before the time was ready. There had to be certain doctrines that were denounced. There had to be certain realities that were revealed, because we would have gone into this with a masking. Speaking of which, mm, somebody got online the other day and just totally went ballistic on his culture. Oh my God. And if you were one of the 7,000 people that saw it, honey, and got the video on record, send it to me. BC, because I didn't see it because we went back to look at it. The video was deleted. What you're not about to do is get on these live platforms and call me a nigger. You're not. You're not about to have a lot of the young people that are following you and talk to you like I talk to the pastor. You're not about to have a lot of people that are coming into this consciousness and already weak in the knees like a damn baby doe deer, and you gonna knock they fucking hoods from underneath them. You tell me how. You tell me how. You tell me how somebody of another race got more melanin than somebody born with it. Sir, you have messed up. Sir, I don't know what that was, but it's unfortunate. And it's speaking from a personal perspective, child, I ain't got time for it, honey. It's enough criticism out there for us just being who we are. It's enough, enough dogging of us just for who we are and for the power that you possess. And I don't know what happened to you. I would have never heard you say that on Gaia, ever. I canceled my subscription. I was paying $200 some a year. I remember Gaia came out was $1 for the year. And I was like, I'm gonna get it by the time I was ready. I was $259. Child, that's gone. They done lost my little coins. Not with this kind of affiliation. It's tragic. And it's unfortunate because you were on a really good path at a point. And I know you done fucked up. Child. It was cute though. And your New Year's party? Oh, I saw everything. I saw everything. Do not wear reflective shades when you are filming anymore. That was not smart. All the up, the downstairs, I saw all of that, baby. And I don't know if I saw it beyond what I was supposed to see, beyond this little veil, but baby, I seen it. I seen the whole thing go down. I can read you the whole situation. Oh, it was bad. It was bad. It made you look bad then. The whole vibe was messed up. Live music would have been better. It's unfortunate, but sir, so you have. I hate to say it, but I feel like we're in such a progressive move. But with every for every action, there's a reaction, right? So for whenever it is that people are trying to move forward, there's always going to be pushback. Just like I started out earlier, there's always something. It's like last week's podcast. There's always something at the last minute, that last hurdle, baby. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not gonna be called a nigga by my own out loud on live in front of all these white folks. Yikes! That's sad. It's just disheartening, sir. Pretty sure I have more melanin in my skin, and so do your daughters than that woman. It's weird. You even say that. Scientifically, it's not even a thing, right? I don't even think scientifically you could prove that. Literally, I just would have never heard that on Gaia. It would have been an unfortunate event. And they probably would have pulled out on any, future participation with you using that. Well, no, because the N word's allowed in the industry. You can't say the F word. And I don't mean fuck. That's what they say. It just came across really weird on a live. Mm. So, anyways, I said I wasn't gonna say anything about that. I really said I wasn't gonna say anything about that, but it just kind of flowed with the conversation. Don't do that. That's bad. That's just not motivated for the community. Meow, meow, meow. Stupid. Don't look at my nails. All right. Well, I think that's actually going to be it. Thank you guys for participating. Forgive me if it seems like I was rambling. I really tried to focus on, our topic of content. I know the last part is just thrown in there, but I absolutely appreciate you guys watching, and there will be more guests for any of you that are tired of seeing it by myself. There will be more guests. We were trying to have her on. Um, our next guest, we'll have her this week to premiere for Sunday. That's it, you guys. That's the end of it. And namaste. Okay, don't forget to practice your mudras, your mantras, um, and just start small and work your way up and see if things don't change for you. Okay, see if things don't change a little bit for you. Okay, have trust in the smallest bit of change. Just know that that smallest bit of change is you. That is you affecting your own environment positively, instead of waiting for someone else to come in and do it. Okay. Um, so I appreciate you all very, very, very much. With my hair, I'm gonna figure it out, y'all. Anyhow, you guys have a great day. Namaste, and I will see you on later this week. Thank you.